Welcome to 3.5 Rational Functions number 3. This first example I actually want you to try all by yourself. I've actually factored it a little bit for you. So I want you to state all of the information. You can try to state the domain. We'll talk about that. See what you get. Try it. Come back and check how you did. So how'd you do? Hopefully you got there to be no holes. It bounces at the point 0, 0 because the numerator is an even degree. The y-intercept is also 0, 0. We've got a vertical asymptote at x equals -3 and x equals 3, both of which the branches are in opposite directions. We've got a horizontal asymptote at y equals 1. It does not cross the horizontal asymptote. Setting the equation equal to 1, cross multiplying, I end up with -9 equals 0, which is a false statement. So that's why I can conclude that no, it does not cross the horizontal asymptote. Our domain is all reals except x can't equal plus or minus 3, and we get that from our vertical asymptote. Okay? All right, so how did you do with the graphing? We only had one point to graph. We know it doesn't cross the horizontal asymptote, so I know this middle graph is somewhere locked in here, and it bounces off of my x-intercept or y-intercept. Same point there, 0, 0. Now, since along these asymptotes, I know that the branches are going to be in opposite directions. So if I'm in the middle to the right of this guy and pointing down, I know to the left I'm going to have to be up. Since I don't have any other points, I'm going to be stuck in this area here. Now going over here along this vertical asymptote of x equals 3, to the left I'm pointing down, which means to the right I need to start up. Again, since I've got no other points here, I'm going to be stuck in this upper right region. Hopefully you did okay. Now I want you to try this second example. There is no holes, I'll give you that. It is in factored form. There is a lot of information that goes on in this, so I want you to try your best and then check back to see how you did. Let's start with all of the information. Okay, so no holes. Hopefully we're good there. We have two x-intercepts. At -3, 0, I'm looking at this factor here. It's an even degree, so I know it's going to bounce at -3, 0. X minus 4 is an odd degree, so it crosses. I've got a y-intercept at 0, -9/2. So remember, that's when x equals 0. Vertical asymptotes. I've got a vertical asymptote at x equals 2. Notice it's an even degree. So along x equals 2, my branches will end in the same direction on the right as they do on the left. At x equals -2, from this factor here, it's an odd degree, so I know along this asymptote, they're going to be in opposite directions. The degrees are the same in the numerator as the denominator, so I'm going to look at the leading coefficients. They're all the same as well, so we have y equals 1. Does it cross the horizontal asymptote? This is where it gets really complicated, okay? So if we can handle this, we can handle anything. So remember, I set the equation equal to our horizontal asymptote of 1. We cross multiply. Now, I did a little side note over here. Our numerator, all right, when we multiply this out, x plus 3 squared is x squared plus 9x, x squared plus 6x plus 9. And then I still have to multiply that by x minus 4. So what we get for our numerator, when it's all multiplied out, we get x cubed plus 2x squared minus 15x minus 36. And I put that here. Now we have to multiply our denominator out. So I took x minus 2 squared, and we get x squared minus 4x plus 4, and we still have to multiply it by the x plus 2. Foiling and all that and being super duper careful, we end up with x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x plus 8, and that goes on this side. The good news is the x cubes cancel. We bring everything over to one side, and we have ourselves a quadratic. The bad news is it doesn't factor. So what do we have to do? The quadratic formula. And here I just used my calculator to figure out what these two values were. And we do get it to cross at two different x values. So it's going to cross at 4.97, 1 and -2.22, 1. So now that we have all of this information, I want you to try and graph this on your own. Using all of these pieces of information, let's see how you do. Okay, so let's take a look. We have to plot all of our information. We have an x-intercept at -3, 0, and I made a note for a b because I know it bounces there. We have an x-intercept at 4, 0. I put a little c because I know it's going to cross there. We have a y-intercept at 0, -9 halves, so that's 0, -4.5, so right here. We have 2 points where it crosses our horizontal asymptote, -2.22, 1, and 4.97, 1. All right, so now we have to graph. If I had to start somewhere, I would start in my middle section. I know I've got no x-intercept here, so my graph will never get there. I only have 1 point here. So I know I'm going to be kind of like a parabola, okay? Now, I'm not so worried about how high up it goes, but I'm going to come back down. All I need to know is I will not touch this piece of our axis, and I will not cross it. So I have to be stuck down here, okay? All right, so now we have to look along our asymptotes. So I've got an asymptote of x equals -3. Oh, I plotted that wrong. Oh, no, I didn't. X equals -2, sorry. And since to the right of it we're pointing down, I know to the left I have to be pointing up. So I'm going to start here. I follow the asymptote. I know I have to cross my horizontal asymptote. When I get to my x-intercept, I bounce. And when I bounce, I come back up. But this time I'm under that horizontal asymptote of y equals 1. Now we have to look at this branch over to the right. So again, at x equals 2, our vertical asymptote, to the left I'm pointing down. Now, along x equals 2, we said they're going to be going in the same direction because this factor x minus 2 is an even degree. So since I'm to the left of this asymptote and down, to the right I'm going to be starting down as well. So I start drawing it from down here. I know I'm going to cross my x-intercept, and I know I cross the horizontal asymptote at 4.97, 1. So I cross it, and now in the end I'm going to follow the asymptote, but this time I'm going to end above the asymptote. So this by far was a very tricky graph. It covers a lot of different things. How did you do? All right, we'll get more practice in class next time we meet.